Sounds right.
Snappy, won't you? I have some very heavy thinking to do before 10 o'clock.
Sounds right.
All right, and we're rolling. Cheers, guys. This episode is brought to you by PBR once again, our sponsor that I don't get paid by at all.
Yeah, I think we should maybe potentially send an email or a letter and figure that one out.
Yeah, you know what? I probably should.
Yeah.
I'm back today with James Roberge, third time on the podcast. I had another guest originally. Things happened with him. He couldn't make the podcast. Brando, good luck to handling your situation. You know what I'm talking about. Shit happens. I threw up the bat signal and Roberge responded.
Here we are.
Yeah,
Round three.
Yeah. Just a little bit about Roberge again. He podcasts himself. They have a channel called Unicorns Unite. It's on your social media platforms there. Now, their show, from what I understand, is taking a little bit of a hiatus, yeah?
Hiatus and a transition period. If you don't mind, I'll just quickly, put in the shameless plug here.
We're all about collabing.
Yeah, totally. But it would start off as with me and my friends doing a trivia piece, and really, really positive piece. Mm-hmm. The reason we're on a little bit of a hiatus is because 2 of my 4 friends had kids.
Yeah.
So that takes up quite a bit of time. So nice that.
Did they plan that? I'm just curious.
Wait, plan it together?
Yeah. Were they like, hey, you're having a kid. I'm going to have a kid. Let's go have some
believe
kids.
It or not, the stars just aligned. But we've done a little bit of a transition phase on this one. So it's no longer going to be.
So you're telling me both of their wives and girlfriends spontaneously also stop using their birth control at the same time?
Pretty much. It was marriage close together too. But it was funny. They actually met the other day.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and we were making jokes about arranged marriages.
Their girlfriends, they don't know each other?
No, they do. They do, but the babies met.
Oh, the babies
and it's
met.
One of my buddies had a boy, one of my buddies had a gal. So we were just making jokes, being like, hey, should we keep it in the family? But
so you're
maybe cut that one out.
The Lannisters and the Starks shall we get the
Exactly.
Should we whip out the contract here for our land merging?
Totally. But we've now transitioned to doing movie and TV show reviews. And my buddy Mike's been spearheading this one. And the Ted Lasso review he did, you should probably check it out. It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I will absolutely put all that in the show notes there. I love other podcasters and other social media influencers. So let's support them all. And I did catch a little bit of their movie review. I don't know which movie they reviewed, but I did listen to a little bit of it. I was sitting there I was a little bit like, what am I trying to say here? That wasn't a mainstream movie choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We went off the shelf.
Yeah, you guys are into like indie stuff. It seems like, right?
Yeah. I'm gonna drink my beer with my pinky out. We're a little out there these days.
Yeah. Suddenly you're artsy. You know, with your artsy hat.
Artsy.
Yeah. No. Well, hold on. Do you guys do reviews with like I'm just gonna rattle off some of the shows I like. I want to see if that's up on the itinerary for review. There.
Okay, yeah.
Like
Go for
the
it.
new Star Trek Picard.
So unfortunately, we're Star Warsians.
You guys are nerds.
You guys are nerds. Yeah, Star Trekians.
Star
you
Wars,
stay on that
Star
side
Trek,
of the table.
bro. You guys are nerds.
Well, this is literally going to be a fight right here on the podcast.
Oh, yeah. Luke Skywalker versus William Shatner. Fuck off. Man.
Yeah. Oh no.
William
Skywalker's got it.
Okay. Next to Chuck Norris, William Shatner is invincible. Okay.
Luke Skywalker's invincible. All right. We'll cut it short here.
Cut it short.
Yeah.
Okay.
Star Wars, Star Trek, we're not going to see eye to eye.
Okay.
What else?
I'm just fucking around. I actually love both of those series.
Yeah.
All right. Mandalorian. You guys been reviewing that?
No.
Okay, so you guys just review smart, actually educational movies and shows, it seems.
We're being cheeky.
Okay.
It's really what it is. But yeah, we have a couple other ones on the docket. Banshees of Inisherin.
What are these shows? No, I feel like I'm on this uneducated, unsophisticated moron now.
But I say Banshees because I'm biased and I made them stop production on the Banshees review because I wanted to be a part of it.
All right.
But Banshees it's an out there film.
Yeah.
But the funniest part about this film is the entire concept of Banshees of Inisherin is
Banshees of Ed Sheeran?
Of Inisherin.
Inisherin.
It's an Irish thing.
Okay. Ed Sheeran's Irish too.
Yeah, Ed Sheeran's Irish too.
Way off.
But the entire storyline is a guy doesn't want to drink at their local pub with another guy anymore because he's boring.
Oh, okay.
The entire 2-hour film is about that. It is actually sensational.
Okay. And this takes place in Ireland? Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, like without even having ever watched this thing, there's a lot of relating to that. You know what I mean?
It
Like
is so good.
We've all had that drinking buddy that, you go to the bar and like, oh, they're there all the time. And then next, you develop this friendship, but deep down you're like, I wish you were funnier.
Oh, exactly.
Or like more interesting, and then it just sucks because after a while you do have to come to a realization. Great dude, boring as fuck.
And you're too deep into the relationship where you're just cannot say, hey, we're done.
Buddy's literally getting ready to give you Christmas cards.
Oh yeah.
And like you're like, wow, man,
what is it? April?
Now you feel obligated to actually continue your routine.
Totally.
Honestly, I've been going through a lot in my life as of late, just with running business and everything, and I just realized, life's too short. If someone's kind of like not your cup of tea, I think the best thing you can do for both of you is just keep it real and
100%.
Keep it real and ghost them like a coward, and it just never show up again.
No, it's funny you say that, but seriously, just regardless of what the outcome is, just make the choice.
Yeah, it's better for your life, better for their life. I would imagine. Man. Anyway, so I do want to tap back. So like you're still watching all the cool shows I just listed, right? Like you're not just into this hoity-toity like super smart shows now.
Yeah. I love me some Mandalorian.
Yeah, have you caught up on that?
I'm all caught up.
You're all caught
up.
I
want to toss one in. Succession. Have you watched Succession?
Wait, which one's that one again?
It's on Crave.
Yeah, I've Crave.
Yeah, and it's about billionaires squabbling over the family business. You need to watch it.
Okay.
It is sensational.
Okay, so basically my goal in the future for myself.
Exactly. That's why I love watching it, is because the family just fights about everything, and it's also petty. But back to what you were saying, Mandalorian.
But hold on, is that the storyline for Duck Dynasty?
Oh, it's the storyline for everything.
For everything?
It is, but it's so well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Wait, I think I did hear about Succession, actually. Fuck, I don't know. Too many PBRs screwing my little memory banks.
Yeah.
Dude, I know you're not a big Star Trek guy, but to everyone out there who's ever watched any Star Trek, The Next Generation, like, I'm sorry, out of pure adoration and honor to Patrick Stewart, like, tune into this newest season of Star Trek Picard. It's wrapping up that character's story arc. It's so good. There's so much fan service. Like, I don't want to give away too many spoilers, but I'll say the Enterprise D is back. The Enterprise D.
Getting the D back,
Galaxy class starship is brought back into the mix because it has to be in the storyline. I was so super pumped. I'm like, fuck all your super technology. That ship already was perfect. It had carpets on the bridge, dude. Carpets, man, like
I can respect when a story arc comes fully through. Right, so yeah. I get the fact you want to plug some Star Trek.
Somewhere out there, there's a galactic federation solving all their problems. We don't even realize what's going on out there, man. We're sitting here having PBRs talking about Succession and
pretty
whatnot.
much. Cheers to PBR.
There's some serious intergalactic fucking heroism going on out there.
Was there something specific about Star Trek that just linked with you?
Dude, I mean, you're like tickling my nuts here.
Jeez. I didn't think it was that kind of podcast.
Star Trek is absolutely just the best glimpse into more than likely how humanity will be. Like that show. I hate when people. No, I hate. No, I don't hate. I'm just like, people are just uninformed by the beauty of that show. That show is has its pulse on human behavior, human nature. It like has explanations and theoretical explanations for how and why everything is the way it is, like it's like, Star Wars has that little speech about a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away, like Star Trek explains the origins of the universe and their theoretical, their theoretical theories, like it's ultimately done by human writers, but when you tap into that storyline, it's deep, it's vast, it makes you think and realize, like, if the Federation really existed, like, that is humans at its highest achievement, dude. Like, you and I wouldn't be squabbling over PBRs at a bar. We'd be discussing how to get into Starfleet. You know what I mean?
Or beating the Klingons. Like, what are we doing?
Well, the Klingons are part of the Federation.
Sorry. I tried. I swung for the fences.
They were immersed in a 100-year war, though, with the Federation before, back in Kirk's era.
Yeah.
I'm geeking out hard.
You are? Yeah. I'll fire back a geek thing.
All right. Yeah.
There was...
Yeah, take it away. Make me look more attractive, please.
In my junior high days, a teacher of mine had a Klingon translation book.
Oh my god! Yeah.
So I know Bach-du-Soi, which is something like "Fire the Torpedo Bay." But to this day, that's still impactful. Isn't that crazy?
Oh my god! Fuck.
Storylines. Bach-du-Soi.
Bach-du-Soi.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Okay.
I couldn't tell.
I'm about to punch someone in the mouth and went Bach-du-Soi.
Bach-du-Soi. But it's funny that, like you're saying, I don't hate Star Trek. I love.
You're a smart guy, though. I don't get how you never got into it. It's just
just Star Wars. It's biased, biased.
Okay, Star Wars is amazing too. All right,
Yeah.
But I feel like Star Wars is more of the pure fantasy. Star Trek's like rooted in theoretical science.
So I think that just answered your question. I think
you're a child at heart.
Yeah. Oh, totally. That's why this hat's on right now. But I think that's why I like Star Wars, is because there's that element of just like hope is the word I'll use.
Yeah.
There's always just like every episode, regardless, or every movie, regardless of what's going on, there's that little element of hope. I think that's what carries me through my love of Star Wars. And when I watch Star Trek, I just, like you said, I think it's too logical for me.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of like,
just non-logical nonsense.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Star Trek has that too, man.
We're fighting. By the end of this podcast, we're fighting.
Yeah. That was like my long-winded way of saying, no, you're stupid.
Yeah. Oh, totally. No, you're stupid.
No, you're stupid. I'm not stupid. You're stupid.
Yeah.
No, you're stupid. Yeah. Fuck. No, man. I honestly think like there's actually this really cool this guy. I think it's called Screen Junkies. It's a YouTube channel. They broke down the entire Star Trek, like the basis of things you should know, and it's done in 25 minutes. So I think I'll show you that one of these days.
Yeah.
All right. Like, if you can sit through it, and it's 25 minutes of your life. But at the end of that, if you're a little bit more like, you know what, Shawn, I'll give Star Trek a shot. I'm going to fire off a nice little like top episode list, and I'm going to feed it your way and be like, watch each of these. Tell me how you feel after.
Let's do it.
Yeah. because they touch on everything, like people, in the Star Trek world, like World War III happens. Humanity destroys itself. You know what I mean? Like, and they go into that. And then there's this entire section about there's this character named Khan that I'm not going to bore the audience here. I'm just explaining that the writing is absolutely predicting more likely like what's going to happen in real life here.
Again, I'm not educated, but I thought Khan was Klingon. But here I'm all over the place.
So Khan is a superhuman in the Star Trek world in the 1990s. They start to genetically engineer superhumans. It's essentially Hitler's mission. When he's trying to like make the Aryan race. Yeah. But it increases to the scientists genetically altering the best of humanity. You know what I mean?
They were trying that too.
Well, Hitler was. Yes,
maybe we'll skim over that one. Yeah.
No, but it is reality. That was history. But like the storyline there was there was Khan, and Khan is a superhuman.
Yeah.
His crew are superhumans. They end up taking over 1/3 of the planet in the storyline. They cause World War III. Humanity's at its worst. And like this was all written back in the 60s. Gene Roddenberry wrote this in the 60s. And like right now, when I take a look at what's happening in society, I'm like, we're kind of heading there right now. We're all fighting, we're all squabbling, but we shouldn't be. I mean, humanity is at its pinnacle right now, as far as we can tell. I mean,
pinnacle for certain pieces. Yeah.
Well, when I say pinnacle, I mean you've heard that theory now that we were probably more technologically advanced in the past.
Don't get me started. That's why I wore this hat today. Yeah, don't get me started. I'm archaeologicing the shit out of this.
Yeah, Indiana James or whatever.
You got it.
Yeah. Like the past was apparently maybe way more technologically advanced than we can even imagine, and then humanity ultimately probably went to war with itself, killed everyone off, and we might be repeating a cycle that's already immersed over and over and over.
But so I'm gonna break it off and bring it back eventually. But that's my favorite part about history, is that I'm a history nut.
I know. That's what I love about you,
Aficionado.
man.
But I also, exactly like you just said, I find it so fascinating that we continue to go through these cycles. Like you were saying, the same problems happen, but then we scratch our fucking head and go,
Why did that happen?
Why did that happen? It's literally the same thing happening over and over.
But doesn't that show you kind of how stupid our race actually is? Like not race, I mean species. You know, like it's, think about it. You have this maybe 70-year lifespan, right? Like where you're actually with it, able to do shit, make a difference.
Yeah.
70 and up, you're basically laying around. You're like, what's that quote I heard recently? It says someone is twice, forget my pronouns, but twice a man, twice a child, once a man in your lifespan. You're a baby for a bit, and then when you're older, you're a baby again, basically.
Yeah.
And then the middle, you're
it's a Benjamin Button thing.
Yeah. So it's like, with that being said, it's like if within a 70-year lifespan, two portions of it, you're kind of a child, and only the middle you're a man. How much time does that give you to actually get up to speed with everything?
Yeah.
And because I heard this on a podcast recently, I think it was Sam Harris, but like we're just born in the middle of the story, if you will.
Yep.
Like life is,
just show up.
We just show up.
Yeah, all of a sudden,
So every time we show up, think about it. Say your life is 3 pieces. 2 of it, you're a kid. The one, you're an adult, right? You're a kid when you're old. You're a kid when you're young. In the middle, you're an adult, and then like you only have that little portion to kind of get with it. Are you almost empty there, sir? Yeah. No.
Someone hasn't lost their bartending skill, man.
No.
It's like you're opening a restaurant or something.
It's like I'm opening a bar or something. And then like when you think about that, it's like, well, of course we keep making the same fucking mistakes. You know what I mean? We have this little period to get it together, but let's be honest, half of that we're overcome by hormones, and like men are literally just trying to get laid. And then women are literally just trying to choose the best guy to get laid from.
Yep.
Half the time we disappoint them and they end up fucking hooking up with someone else. You know what I mean? I'm not, like I'm like,
the name of my autobiography, just like you said, is Casual Disappointment with James Roberge.
She hooked up with someone else.
Yeah. Hey, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Cheers to that.
No.
Yay!
Honestly, man, if I wasn't engaged and straight, I'd fuck the shit out of you.
Jesus, this turned from being an Apple-worthy podcast to a Pornhub podcast real fast.
Some platform take us, please.
Yeah.
Anyway, dude, no, man, dude, you give yourself not enough credit. You're super smart for sure, and like you don't realize it. You give me these little gems to think about when you're not even realizing you're giving those gems. That's the funny part. So it's like you don't even know. Like sometimes, like, hey, thanks, man, and I'm all like warm and fuzzy to you back when I was your bartender, and you're kind of like, I don't even know what that was about, but it's because I'm like, because in your drunken haze, you said you gave me a little clue. And then it triggered my brain into like a rabbit hole, and I went home and researched something that you said that
you do the same to me, my friend.
Hey,
but that's the
amazing,
best.
yeah.
The best part about friendships is that it's about challenging each other or just challenging beliefs, right? And just having random conversations throughout. Like, what is it? 1.5 years, 2 years now?
I don't know. 10 years?
10 years. It may feel like 10 years.
With time,
but
sure.
That's the best part is when you have those random conversations, but then you go home and actually research it. When you're
because you said something that I was like, I was like, whoa, like I'm an idiot for not even noticing that or whatever and thinking about it. And then I have to race home. I don't know. Plus your World War II knowledge is so extensive. It's fucking crazy, man. I'm like, you, like I should have had you as a high school teacher or junior high teacher. Like, it's like you're like, you explain it in such a quick to the point way where I'm sitting here like, like I actually like, I'm like absorbed in a manner of, I'm actually like entertained at the same time. I'm learning history.
Yeah.
And then what gets me the most is when I go and really get my mind into thinking with my emotions of like, what was that like? That's when I'm like, oh my God, like I hit these walls where I'm like, we're complete pussies compared to every one of our ancestors. Like they went through some real shit and they had to carry on and make babies and keep it together and make sure the babies can keep it together.
Yeah.
It's like we're a bunch of pussies.
But like you were saying, that's why I love that time period so much is because And I'll tell you a little bit of a family.
Crazy that you like that time period.
I know what you mean.
It's a paradox.
It's a paradox.
We learned the most from that time period.
Challenges.
But what do we do with learning from those lessons? To be honest, I feel like it only lasted one good generation. Because like, if we're not all cognizant and really remembering what went down and understanding it and having enough like actual experience to really dive into what happened, like, I don't think people really realize like World War II was crazy beyond comprehension. Like that is humanity at its quote unquote best and worst. Cause like that crazy scenario created so much innovation, which might have come from aliens, but but at the same time, like we became our worst. Like we just saw humans be the shittiest pieces of shit ever. But like it's worldwide.
What you were saying too is fascinating because that one generation thing. So what was it? 1918, World War I ended.
Yeah,
and within
1418, right?
Within one generation, Germany again went back and was like, we're fighting everybody. We don't give a shit. So it's fascinating that things just change so quickly. Yeah. Obviously, there's situations and things that dictated the first one to the second one. But there
was a continuing story arc there.
Like,
it wasn't like this random, like, let's just do this again.
The Treaty of Versailles was the worst thing to have ever happened to European politics ever, because Germany was resentful towards everybody else. And that caused everything.
Do you think, let me ask you this might be a wider spread topic here, but do you think if there was an internet in World War I, do you think the World War I could have still happened? If you kind of get what I'm asking here, because like think about it. Like if your entire country only has a numerous forms of information, then of course most people are going to get like thought into the main narrative, right? But if you had unlimited streams of information coming in, you could think for yourself and like think of the bigger picture and this and that. You know, kind of what I'm saying. Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
It seems almost like I'm not trying to use the word barbaric, but
nationalistic.
Yeah, but for no reason. Like, because like look at 2023. Look at the era we live in now. We live in Canada. Like we're every nationality and race mixed together, and it's like if it wasn't for this weird territorial old school thought of these borders you call countries still being implemented, forcing us essentially to have even more tribal thinking. It's like we all trade literally globally now. Like, so why are we still fighting? You kind of get what I'm saying?
No,
it doesn't make any fucking sense.
I understand 100% what you're saying. So I think that your question has a lot.
Sorry, my Texas is linked up to that. Anyway, sorry if you hear a ding there. I'm gonna turn this up.
I think it's interesting to think about, because you would also have to add into consideration what the propaganda and what is being fed. So you say internet, if it was World War I, how's that controlled? Because these days narratives are being tossed out. Because and I'll backtrack a bit. I think and have read that the Germans only concentrate on themselves. They're like, hey,
they're proud. They're
proud
sure,
people.
Yeah. Same
Same thing as the Brits. Same thing as the French. So I think if you added the
not as Chinese, we're not proud at all.
Well, unfortunate.
I think I'm fucking around. We take proud to the next level. Xi Jinping is just like
Xi Jing.
Like he's just.
I think
it's a powerful guy, man. Holy shit!
I honestly think though it would have added to the animosity, because everybody, sure, you have the internet, but I also think, and would also like to add it as a question, do you just read news and do you just listen to people who have the same opinions as you, or do you actually actively seek out the other opinions? So ground. That's why I think your question is really fascinating, is that I think the internet wouldn't have changed a thing, because they all were super ultra nationalist and they were all like, fucking let's go Germany. And regardless of what was on the internet, they would have just been like, let's go Germany.
Yeah. To touch on that here, like, okay, but most of the guys doing the fighting were 18, 17, even 16, using fake IDs and shit. It's like, remember when you were 16, 17, So even if you were a bit more mature, like say at 16, 17, we had the same responsibility as our great grandparents, like you're still like your frontal cortex isn't developed. So how are you able to really understand the scope of your even thought process or decision making? Like you can't. It's like it's just Lord of the Flies, like up 10 years, you know? Like I really am like I get, because I the older I get, the smarter I am. But what I mean by that is I more realize that I know shit. That's what I mean. I'm smarter realizing I don't know anything. Like every day, what I learned, I have to realize this is a temporary piece of knowledge now applicable to this scenario. But like, is this a lifelong philosophy that carries over to any form of life evolution? Like, no, you know? So it's like, so how am I smart? You know, like you're not smart. You're just adapting to your environment again.
Yeah.
And, but as an 18-year-old, 19-year-old, like, it's easy to brainwash them into more tribal thinking than ever. So, but back then I guess my thesis, if I'm, you know, this long tangent is kind of like, gearing towards like a point, is that I think we're fucked.
We're fucked. It's over. It's over.
Like, and that's the Star Trek world. So the Star Trek world was like, human beings were fucked until Zefram Cochrane, the fictional character in Star Trek, invented warp drive.
Cockram.
Cockram? Yeah.
Cockram. Yeah.
Actually,
Just want to make sure.
Cochrane, like Cochrane, the community over city close. But Zefram Cochrane in Star Trek First Contact, if you guys, great movie, by the way, he develops warp drive. So warp drive is speed of light travel and allows interplanetary discovery. Humans were shooting their ship past warp drive, and then it caught the attention of the Vulcans race. They've been smarter than humans. They've been circling our solar system forever. They finally were like, holy fuck, these guys invented warp drive, something we don't have. They must have something to offer. And it was because of warp drive, it unified humanity to like no longer the Federation plan is a bit later.
Oh, but fuck, I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
But when I think about it, I'm like, unless we have something like that to unify all the humanity, like you can't tell us we're not going to keep getting these fucking territorial squabbles, man. Like
100%.
It's like we're still so primitive. Like as advanced as we got, and I've come to realize we still suck. Like we suck.
Well, don't want to bring it up, but we're going to. Russia, Ukraine. Exactly like you're saying. What a squabble. Why did that have to happen? Does Russia actually need Bakhmut? Does it actually need fucking Kherson? No. It's all just human lame squabble.
Yeah. As far as we know. I mean...
Oh, you're gonna hit me with something fantastico?
I don't know. I'm just a simple local Calgary podcaster, right? You know, I don't know. You know, like don't take what I say with like it's the gospel. But obviously something doesn't make sense about that whole thing. You know, I don't know what it is. It just seems kind of, I don't even have to dive into it. There's way more people who've been canceled on the internet than me who can you can find their studies into this situation here. But just all I can say is World War II, what did Hitler do to start to control everyone's thought process? You know, he crushed libraries and controlled the media,
books, Kristallnacht,
the entire Chinese history, like Great Wall of China, you know, like that area. But I think his name is Chen Wang, if I'm saying it correct. And, you know, that emperor, you know, like big time influence, you know, you go back to China, his statues are still around. Like, what did he do to control everyone? He went to each territory and burned down their libraries, killed all their scholars. So like, just after a while, like your thinking is absolutely manipulated, you know, and it works even to this day in like with the internet and stuff, you know, like it's like in order to like control your mind and really have a clear head on half of these issues, it's like, you got to be like on it 24/7. And most people just, we're not, you know, like right now we're having some beers and then next, we have to do our chores and then go to our jobs. It's like that's what I mean by we're doomed. Like we don't actually have the time and space to really try to like better our situation, you know, like, so it's like, cause again, like we look at it very, very, from a bird's eye view per se, like if you're a bunch of aliens, you drove by, you're like random aliens, you look at Earth and you're kind of, kind of like you're super smart, so you can kind of like take in our history pretty quickly. You're kind of like, these guys are bipolar. This entire species is bipolar. They're random and bipolar. Like the same people that get along 1 minute that would die for each other is like hating each other next minute. Like, you know, it's like I don't know. I don't have an answer. It just seems like this is overkill. We're doing it again. I just hope this time we don't actually bomb ourselves to fucking smithereens. You know, like that's just what I hope this time around. Because I'm like, there's so much crazy weapons now. Like, you know,
the Russians too. Again, not to get into all this, but they're one of the few countries that didn't sign certain Geneva Convention things, so they can use hyperbaric munitions.
What are those?
Hyperbaric munitions are the ones that, and I'll backtrack. Hyperbaric munitions they've used very, very little already. So hyperbaric munitions it's a warhead, a very small warhead that they'll fire. It hits and impacts, and then it creates the initial strike, creates a vacuum, and then the vacuum sucks in, and the explosion is 2 times.
That sounds crazy. Like is this as crazy as a nuke or no? No,
not as crazy as a nuke, but as for the size of the munition, it's out of control.
Okay.
So it's hyperbaric is not legal. But again, the Russians, they're just having
who decides what's legal at that level here?
The UN.
The UN. Okay.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, it's like okay.
But yeah, so the Geneva Convention and
effective,
all of
bro. That's effective.
Yeah, all of those conventions have been made off of conflicts that have happened in the past. So it's Geneva Convention says you can't have munitions that are widespreading. So I'll use as an example phosphorus weapons. So again, Russia's using phosphorus weapons.
The real question is make sure the bombs aren't colored blue. That's all, you know.
It may be, maybe that way. But
that's like actually what they're debating.
That's kind of what they're debating.
Better be gray.
It better be gray. But like phosphorus weapons are banned because they do not distinguish between a foe or a civilian.
I made that previous joke as a second just to essentially mock how effective like the UN to me is. Like you're talking about ballistic missile stuff, and I'm like, okay, so the fact that it made it to production and like every country's like outsourcing how to create more of it. It's like, so any meeting you have, you may as well just discuss what should the color of the bombs be. But because like you already agreed to make these fucking crazy ass weapons.
Yeah,
like it's
I picked up.
It's kind of like I'm like ineffective even having this union if they just keep making this shit.
Yeah, and I picked up on your jest because they like the UN. What a joke! How many genocides? How many wars have happened? And they've just fucking whatever.
Fuck, man. But again, like let's get a little bit deeper in this. Like Lord of the Fly style. Like if you I talked about this actually in a recent podcast, but of my podcast, Kaks Bar and Podcast. But Cass was and I were talking about this, but I said that I think humanity is doomed because I think if you could take 10 people, put them on an island, Lord of the Fly style, so 10 boys, 10 girls, we'll put them at the age right before puberty. Okay, random example. Okay, so you got 10 boys, 10 girls. Okay. We'll say 5 random nations. So they're from different ones. We can roll a dice, whichever ones they are. Throw them on an island, okay? And you can do this experiment 100 times. Grab another set of 10, 5 guys, 5 girls, over and over. I'm almost certain this experiment, again, it's more likely can never be fucking done without human rights people coming in and being like, what the hell are you doing putting these kids on an island? But I'm like, they're going to get into a fight. And it's just gonna happen naturally. There's so many variables and pieces to our being that will always result in the end formula, which is conflict to procreate. Or
conflict to eat.
To eat, okay. But again,
if you're
the guy
on an
who
island,
eats procreates.
No, I'm agreeing.
Instantly, these guys everyone wants to be friends, but then instantly it's going to be like, hey, like James there seems to be quite the ladies' man. And next thing you know, it's like, hey, we have 5 and 5. We're each supposed to be paired up. And next thing you know what, James seems to be banging all 5 of the women.
Oh, no, but I'm the first one dead. Like, yeah. Like, everyone's going to be like, fresh meat, let's go.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's like these, or one woman gets all the men. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but like all of a sudden no one's getting together. I don't know. Like, it's just like, I just feel like a child whenever I think anymore, like, maybe I don't want to use the word pessimism because I'm not a pessimist. I'm just more observing the way we are wired.
Realist.
Yeah, like it's impossible to get us all to get along for any extended period of time. We will find a reason to start shit with one another. And then justify it. Because we are fucked up.
You mentioned it, and I am going to be raked over the coals in the comment section on this one. Yeah. But here's my comment. We are squabbling because we have earth issues. The second we make contact with somebody else, we are just going to be the world's biggest country. We're all going to come together.
We're talking about Star Trek. Yeah,
no,
Event Warp
cool,
Drive, and
cool. What is Star Trek? What is that?
But cool.
Yeah, cool, sweet, awesome, thanks. But I honestly think that we're squabbling over issues that we understand. The second we have an issue where we actually figure out that somebody's fucking checking in on us, it's going to be a completely different story. The UN actually might be impactful. Sue me now, dicks. But
dude, let's further dive into this here. Like, it's almost like as smart as the leaders are, you can always dumb it back down to playground rules. You got a bunch of kids
100%
that just don't want to share.
Yeah,
that's it. They don't want to share. It's like you can get 5 kids on the playground. We got 5 kids. We got 2 toys. How is this going to play out? It's almost always like clockwork. It's like they start plotting and then get siding.
How do elections work? The most popular kid picks up the toy and goes, hey, if you, and you make me your best friend, I'll give you guys the toys. And I won't give those 3 fucks the toys. As in Alberta, Saskatchewan.
Like, it's like,
sorry, too far.
I don't know, man. I just think we're fucked, man. Like, I don't have a solution to this other than
no solution, man.
Well, I mean, like I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan and stuff and other podcasters, but they always say like every major leader just needs to go down sorry, this wire got caught there. But like they need to just do a bunch of like psychedelic drugs to get that ultimate empathy so that we can actually fucking share. Like, because the answer is, again, you got 5 random people on an island, you got 2 toys. They share the 2 toys somehow, right? It's like just that ability to take that step to be like, I'm not gonna fuck you over. Here, you get to play for 2 hours. Are you gonna give it back to me so I can play for the 2 hours? And like, we have to have some honor. We have to like follow through, and we have to like not actually do that tempting thing to fuck over someone.
You are so correct, though.
But it's hard.
We lost in politics over the last 15, 20 years. The ability to compromise. Exactly like you said, to be like, hey, Shawn, you can have this for 2 years. I'll stay away. But everybody is all of a sudden now like, oh, I can't talk to you. It's only about my interests. Yeah. It's crazy that we've come to this. And that's why we're having these challenges, is because nobody goes and says, hey,
we've gone through this a billion times though, man. That's why I mean, I think we're fucked. Like, and I'm not just saying that loosely. Like, I truly am scared. Like I talk a lot about this off the air. Like I have a good thing going right now. I'm like, I love you, Jess. Love my fiance, and like, a good fucking friends.
Yeah.
It's like let's go. Brewski's like launching a business. Like, worked hard for this. It's like, fuck, man, but. It's I don't know. I'm not too necessarily confident that this is all going to come crumbling like soon because of some global issue of weird like sewn in thought processes that far exceed my circumstances to understand its importance. Because again, I'm sitting here like, why do you care? Like, it's like why does anyone care what each country nuancely thinks about every fucking topic. At the end of the day, like, can we not trade? Can I not get some oil from you? You get some water from me. You get some cattle from you. I mean, like,
we get cheap toys from
know,
your
like,
homeland.
Didn't
mean to say that.
It's
but...
like, dude, like, I get competition, but like when it comes to what's going down right now on the global level, I'm like, competition / pause the game and share. I don't know, like otherwise we're all doomed. You know, I mean,
gotta piss like a fucking
absolutely.
racehorse.
Well, fuck yeah. No. The beautiful thing is I'm gonna stop this shit. Lost track of everything we're talking about because we both had to go pee.
Small bladder. Yeah. It's a tough thing to deal with.
No, I remember what we were basically talking about. Yeah, we're fucked. Humanity.
Yeah, we're fucked. Yeah, it's over.
We've always been fucked. I mean, if you think about it, the history of the world has always been crazy fucking wars that just keep on happening. Eventually drags everyone in the mix.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's happened over and over all the time. And I just feel like, you know, based on my understandings of things, it's been a while, and like we're just at our pinnacle of getting along with each other, you know. It's kind of
the most peaceful we've ever been.
Yeah, it's almost like, you know, like you ever had some, I never actually have had this really, but have you ever had shitty roommates? You hear people talk about it all the time. It's like, you come in with the best intentions, we're gonna get along, we're gonna live together, you know, everyone's gonna do their chores, but that proposal lasts for like what, a day, and then a day in, like Jimbo isn't doing his laundry, like Stacy eats everyone's fucking chocolate.
Oh yeah, I've had a situation like that.
Yeah, like Joe over there doesn't clean up the splooge he shot on the wall.
Oh, I hope he's not just splooging around. Jesus,
you know, and then next thing you know, it's like you're getting on each other's nerves, and then and then next thing you know, like someone is a prick, even though like it's not even really about what they did.
It's just about everything else.
Sneeze, dude. I gotta sneeze.
Oh, boom! Double sneeze. Get the triple.
Holy. Did the camera catch all that?
It did.
Oh, man.
But no, I totally pick up what you're throwing down.
Yeah, and I just feel like humanity is just a bunch of roommates. And it's like, hey, we got along well for 80 years. And now
it's kicking off now.
Now it's popping off again because you just can't fucking deal with it anymore.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, man. It's I hope we fucking get past this, because as far as we've been documented, like things have never been more grand, dude. Like we got fucking, like I said, you and I are just chilling, having drinks, learning from history. You know, like it's like I don't know. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride.
I feel you on that. I feel like I'm just hitting my stride. Loose.
Yeah, like I just, you know, but if it does, I wouldn't be like as shocked as other people. I'd be like more thinking, you know, like how do we not think this was not going to fucking happen? You know?
Oh, totally.
Oh, God. All right, switching a little bit of gears here, James. Like, you were in Mexico recently. Where were you in Mexico? Playa del Carmen, right?
Playa.
Yeah.
And something that's really, really interesting, and I'll just share this story. We as a group, there's 6 of us, went down to Playa del Carmen. Absolutely zero issues with security. Felt safe the whole time. Was on our travels home, and 2 of our party members got stuck in Chicago. For a night. Yeah. But they were literally in riots. Because Chicago's rioting right now.
Oh, see, I don't even where the news is reporting that.
They're not reporting it. But the funny thing is,
the whole thing happened in France, by the way, is barely reported.
Don't get me started on that. But
that thing in France,
that thing in France. But it's insane that everybody on the news and everybody talks about how dangerous Mexico is. We had no challenges, but we have a 30-an-hour transfer in Chicago, and it was dangerous.
Jesus Christ! Oh, they were there for 30 hours.
They were there for longer. We were there, but it was like they almost got caught in riots. But Mexico, perfectly fine. It was amazing. Chicago, not so much. How does that happen?
You don't name names. What do our mutual guest friends here do in Chicago for 30 hours? Did they catch a Bulls game or
stay in a hotel, try not to get murdered? Yeah.
Sorry, Chicago. I know you still have great aspects to your city. We're
making fun.
But reality is that, like, I talked to these guests too. Like they, I don't know. Like they wasn't good. like they felt like it was better to stay in the hotel. It would seem or whatever.
Yeah.
But okay, but educate me, man. What's even happening? Like, what are they writing about right now in Chicago?
In Chicago, I can tell you.
Couldn't tell
But
me.
if we want to talk about the France one, I can talk about that one.
Dive into that one, please, for me, because I mean, from what I understand, this almost is like storming the Bastille shit, almost in a weird way.
You've just nailed it. So
Like,
this,
I mean,
the piece is the government tried to pass, Macron's government tried to pass social security and senior payments to be changed from the age of 62 to 64.
Okay.
That would align. So if they were to change it to 64, they've changed it to 64. If they were to go forward with it, and they have, they would align with every other country where you hit 64, then you start getting payments from the government.
That's your pension.
That's your pension. That's your pension. But
it's younger than us, right? Are we 65?
We're 65. Yeah. But they're now aligning with everyone else. France was 62 before, and the reason though everyone's rioting is because, and the storming the Bastille is funny that you said it, was because Macron's government tried to push it through Parliament, got denied, and then used Article 47.3, where they don't have to consult the rest of the government, and they just fired it through without public consent. And that's why France is so angry, is because France has had that before, where all of a sudden people just start dictating things. So the trash collectors union, the electrical folks who provide electricity to France, have all joined in rioting and protesting. There's 9 million people.
Like, correct me if I'm wrong here. I need you to correct me. But mind you, we are multiple beers deep. But there was beers before this. So
yeah,
we're not just 2 beer rookie guys.
Yeah. We're in the thick of it.
So the citizens are rebelling against an abuse of power.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's so that it's not getting reported in general, but people who also are getting that information are also not getting the correct information. They just see people rioting because of something. But the entire piece is that the government pushed through something without getting the consent of Congress or the Congression or the political body that people get elected to by the people. It was just pushed through.
These things have been like, this happens so often in history. I mean, like with the Rockefellers back in World War II, like pushing, I forget what, I've had a couple drinks, people, so I'm not going to try to sound like I'm super smart in what I'm saying here, but I just know there was some loophole. They passed some vital laws during Christmas time when certain X amount of like the governing bodies clearly weren't going to be present to contest it.
Yeah.
I forget what it was. Like, wasn't something along the lines of like they were able to just print random money like at will or something like that? Like, do you know what I'm asking about?
I know.
Like,
I know what you're asking.
It was like prior to World War II, after World War I, I think. Or
so what you're talking.
I sound real stupid right now. I'm sorry, people, but go on.
What you're talking about is the removal of the gold standard.
Wasn't that in the 70s with Nixon?
But it's been progressive. Some people have done it, some haven't. But there's been pieces like you were saying that there was a couple of things during that time period where they would change rules to make it so they could just print money.
Yeah.
But if we're talking Rockefellers,
there was way more.
the Rockefellers had whatever the entity was in the States. They were the monopoly providing the U.S. with all of their oil, and then IG Farben was a satellite company for the Rockefellers, so they were selling oil and gas to both sides of the equation. So you're on the right lines of there's things going on, but we're having a conversation where it's like
either way. Let's be honest, it's corruption.
Corruption. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. You should get an education and teach kids or something.
To be honest though, my passion is, and it's terrible to say, but my passion's war history. I just love the fact that
it's fascinating.
Napoleon.
There's no two ways about it. Like,
totally.
War history is fascinating,
and it changed everything always.
It is what everything culminates towards, isn't it?
Yep.
Like every time there's massive disagreements, isn't the end game all out war, total war? You
Yep.
know, like but you also see that in your everyday life. You know, you hit a point where you can't share anymore, and it's like whoever's opposing you, it's on. You know
It's
what
on.
I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
on,
yeah,
you know, and like and you want to pull back, you can't because something in you needs to see it through to the end.
Yep.
But at the same time, it's a paradox because
If you're actually to hold on and not push through, sometimes that's the best strategy, right?
yeah, what you said made sense there. I was more segueing into like when there's something as all encompassing as total war, you are literally, humans are at their best and worst. Like now, when I say their best, I mean they're innovating now like crazy, you know, to try to come up with solutions to win the war effort, right?
But
Like, what's more like if you had a gun to your head and I was like, James, you better sort this shit out now for whatever. Wouldn't that be the moment you're like, bam, like you either like cave and you don't do shit, or you all of a sudden totally completely like, okay, like how do I solve this? Like you just, it's like that little pressure just makes you like,
Yep.
You know, it's like no different than, oh yeah, I don't feel like working out today. And then, but if you knew you had to fight someone in 2 weeks, trust me, you'll be running every day. Make sure you have some cardio.
Oh
go,
yeah,
go
yeah,
fight
yeah.
this guy.
No,
right?
no,
You know, like
you're so right.
So it's like it's such a weird paradox. Like it's like, so I feel like every time there's war, I feel like it just means humans have reached another pinnacle.
Yep.
Like it's like that means like, hey, we kind of leveled up as a super species.
Yeah.
Now we have war, and we fix, and then we level up again. Like it seems like it's such a paradox because it seems like that is like the benchmark of saying like, hey, we reached something new.
Yeah.
Like now we war. And when war comes, it sucks because so many people die.
Yeah.
And they're gone, and like they don't come back. And you know, that
But
part's sad. But then like we're just so much more advanced all of a sudden. The people left, and then you kind of know what I'm saying. Like
100%.
Everything's a paradox.
The story I'll give you to that effect, what you just said, was the Germans were getting bullied in 1944. They're like everything was crumbling.
In 44, like
44.
World War II. Like,
yeah.
Okay.
During World War II, near the end, they were getting bullied. Things are looking bleak. So they invented the jet engine during that time period because somebody at some point was like, hey, all of these American, all of these Russian, all of these UK fighters are faster than our Messerschmitts. So they invented the fucking jet engine. Because of that, the Americans or someone stole that tech because, you know, you're test trialing it. They're getting invaded. They're crumbling. But they literally invented the jet engine because they were getting bullied. Exactly like you said. Pressure comes on. All of a sudden, everyone comes together and makes something real.
Competition creates more competition, which creates more will to win, which creates more innovation, which creates like, you know, I don't know. These topics are deeply philosophical, and like, but that's what I mean by, you know, I try to keep a level head when it comes to thinking about war and all of this because I'm just convinced like it's inevitable for our species. Like it's a sign that we reach a pinnacle of something.
We're too comfortable,
or we've advanced to that pinnacle, and then now war ensues to smooth out. I want to say the wrong ideas, but I'm saying the ideas that couldn't trump the other ideas. You know, like, you know, so I mean, it's
well, like you were saying, World War II eliminated fascism. Like you were saying, the idea of fascism was eliminated after World War II because everybody was like, holy fuck, that doesn't work.
Wouldn't you say it's back though? It's kind of here. Like, you know,
that's an interesting topic.
You know, like there's a lot of like, if they're not a classic fascist now, as far as definition goes, they're definitely on point. It feels like there's numerous parts of the world that are absolutely turning into fascist systems. Yep. You know, but again, it just took 80 more years for this thing to return into.
Because it's a cyclical cycle,
man. Yeah. Like we're just human. It's just fucking like.
Should we split?
No. So crush that. I have quite a bit here still.
Great.
We can toast though. Cheers.
This is a very intelligent.
Well,
philosophical
we think
one.
we sound intelligent around having these PBRs, but
Oh yeah, it's
I'm
gonna
re-listen to
turn
it.
out like donkey shite.
I'm gonna be like, how the fuck did James not know about Star Trek?
Oh, you're
First
still
contact.
salty about that, hey? Jeez, man.
Yeah,
Jeez.
I just think that show mirrors reality. You know, it's like art imitates life imitates art kind of thing. It's like we're absolutely heading to some kind of crazy fucking situation coming up when like it's going to be in our lifetime now. Yeah. And you know, I don't even know how to prepare for that. Like I don't think you can.
You can't.
Like for guys like us, like I mean, like what's the route of preparation to try and anticipate some crazy all out societal chaos and then like get a generator and this and that. I know some people have been doing that.
Yep.
You know, and
but there's no way to prepare. You're right.
There's no way to prepare that makes sense to your day-to-day life because like this easily could go the other direction where it's like cooler heads prevail and everyone with a nuke is like, okay, let's not do this.
Yeah.
Because we all have shit we want to get done that we're passionate about. Like China might be like, dude, I'm literally like fortifying the non-English speaking section of the world into commerce and trade and this and that. I don't want to die right now.
Yeah.
And then America might be like, well, dude, I just want my power back. It's like, okay, you can have it on your side of the turf.
Yeah.
Like we're doing it this way now. You do it their way. And then maybe that'll luck out then. And then it's like, woo, okay, like then we just concentrate again on getting better and being smarter and getting better and leveling up. And, you know, we don't have to like be all feared out with, you know, thinking about like an insane doom and gloom, you know? Yeah. Or it could be complete opposite, and we're expecting Mad Max to happen anytime soon. Yeah, if that's the case, everyone, you better start working out because everything's going to come back down to fitness. I'll tell you that right there. You know, so
survival of the fittest.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's a tricky one. What is your predictions? Like you keep wowing me with your knowledge on the past. But what do you think is going to happen in the future here? Like let's take a James Roberge crystal ball.
Absolutely nothing.
Go on.
So my predictions and my thoughts, because, and believe it or not, I don't have an expansive knowledge of Chinese history, but at the same time, I understand business. I understand what they've done in the past. Everybody is just projecting. Nobody's doing a thing because I think everybody has this mutual understanding that globalism and supply chain has every single country by the ballsack. So I'll use that as an example, if China was to invade Taiwan, the US would no longer purchase anything from China, which means 90% of products would no longer be available. That's not beneficial to any
No Air
country.
Jordans over there?
No Air Jordans, no nothing. But so that's what I'm thinking is that Russia's gone into their thing, doing their own thing, just to fucking shake it up.
Have you noticed there have been a lot more Russian and Ukrainian people in Calgary? Have you noticed that? You haven't?
I don't. No. I kind of don't want to talk about it because that's all the resumes I get.
Okay.
It's people who like it's really, really sad that I have people who have like wine or WSET knowledge that had to move from Ukraine to and they're applying for jobs as like a server. So it's tough. But everything's right now is just fucking a show. It's a facade. We're not in nuclear era. Everyone's pretending like we are. And it's just because they're pushing something.
All right. Okay.
And that's my thought. I'm just a guy. I serve hot dogs.
Yeah. I'm about to serve alcohol to people. And you know, my business is this, just chatting. But like I'm not wanting to just simply chat about these crazy issues and offer no solution per se. So my solution is to come down to Kaks Bar and Podcast. We're opening in the middle of May, and we're gonna have tons of food and beverages for you.
What
The
a
website
plug.
is up.
What a plug.
So, you know, if you're feeling down, eat some food at Kaks Bar and Podcast, kaksbarandpodcast.com. Menu's up. Props to our chef, E-Man. We've been doing some tasting, and everything's super delicious. All right.
But let's chat about that a little bit. So
Sure, yeah.
like we
Well, Kaks Bar and Podcast opening soon.
opening soon.
Opening soon, yeah.
Yeah,
Middle
up-
of May, maybe.
Up 10 building,
Underneath-
downtown Calgary.
Yep.
Right in the heart
The
of
city has literally given us 2 addresses, but it's literally in the same slot. But it's
okay.
201 10th Ave Southeast or 1006 First Street Southeast, underneath the Up 10 condo building near the Saddle Dome. If you're in downtown, come on down to Kaks Bar and Podcast.
She's in the mix. She's right in the heart of everything. And I think potentially, so what, sorry, this is my 3rd time here, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So 4th time, new place.
Yeah. Yeah. I have one more podcast guest coming up out of this studio, and then we're going
you're
to
talking
be,
about other people around me? This is bullshit.
Anyway, I haven't
Sorry, mom and dad are fighting.
I have one more guest coming on, but that'll be it from the podcast out of this amazing garage studio here, this bunker. And we're moving the studio show into the actual podcast booth itself, which is out of the bar. Kaks Bar Podcast, from what I understand, is the first bar in Canada with a podcast studio out of it. So everyone, stay tuned. Stay tuned on all your social media, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Audio version of this podcast is on Spotify and Apple at Kaks Bar Podcast. Tune in, and I look forward to everyone coming out for that.
You're trying to end this, but I got one question. I
Go
got to
on.
interrupt.
Go
I got to
on.
interrupt.
Go on.
So this may be like a state or a proprietary secret. Is there like a dish that you tried from your chef that's just
steak bites. Our steak bites are amazing. Come on down for our steak bites.
okay?
Yeah.
Insight. Anything
It's
special?
breaded. It's nicely breaded. It's a nice light breading. This super smooth sesame sauce that goes with it. It's like it's supposed to be an appy, but honestly, I just I'm the owner, but I'll grab 2 of those and just have it as an entree.
Is it getting on here?
Yeah,
Jeez.
yeah, it's,
I don't know if it's you talking or the dish. Jeez.
Yeah,
sounds great.
Yeah, no, we're nearing the end of construction. I know we keep saying that, but hey, this is hard, right? It's hard to construct. It's not there's a lot of hoops, I'm learning for the first time here, anyway, James, I am going to wrap it up here. Thank you for coming down, dude, man. Like,
oh,
God,
we too
botched,
many PBRs.
We botched that.
Too many PBRs.
We botched that handshake. Okay, no, but James, come down, do more with me down at the when we open up the studio on
Maybe
site.
change that phrasing.
Do me more. Do me more out of the studio.
Next episode is going to be from the restaurant, and I'm going to hold you to it. I want to try those steak bites.
Oh, dude,
I'm trying those steak bites. Let's go,
dude. Try.
you.
Like, we have all these great drinks coming down. A lot of RTDs, ready to drink drinks. We have margarita on tap. We have a lemonade vodka iced tea on tap. It's like summer's coming. Come on down, enjoy. All right, let's just get everyone back to come on down for the beer, as we say, and stay for the conversation.
Yep.
Okay, James, thank you very much for saving the day here and coming down here.
I don't think I'm saving the day. We're just chatting, having fun.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. And plus, you're always educating me. I look forward to right now, like off the air, we're gonna keep drinking, and I need to learn more, man.
Let's go.
I need to know how to handle the end of the world that seems to be coming here. Okay, peace out, people. All right, bye.